the guardian of the gates, the keeper of the keys, and one of ancient Rome's most powerful and primordial gods. Hello everyone, welcome to Myths Reborn, and today we are going to talk about 5 things you need to know about the ancient Roman god, Janus. Let's begin. First off, Janus is the ancient Roman god of doors, gates, entrances, and transitions. For the most part, he is considered an ancient Roman exclusive god, with many stories and legends describing Janus as one of the primordial gods of beginnings. And yes, you heard me right folks, this is one of those few instances where Rome did not adapt one of the ancient Greek gods into their own mythology, though there is some evidence that maybe Janus has a counterpart in Etruscan mythology. Coulson's is an Etruscan god that also had 2 faces and also had to deal with doors and entrances. But in the Roman stories, he was seen as a child of no god, one of these primordial beings of beginning. He even hosted Saturn, or the Greek Kronos, in his abode once Jupiter, the Greek Zeus, overthrew him. I know I already mentioned an Etruscan god, but we also have to mention that Janus does have certain similarities between him and his 2 faces and the 3 faces of the triple goddess Hecate. However, the differences between these gods really outweigh the similarities, especially when we consider that Janus is more of a symbolic god of both physical and abstract concepts that come in 2s, whereas Hecate is a goddess of the crossroads. She represents the many choices or multiple paths when it comes to one's decisions, and of course the phases of the moon. She shares more similarities with other goddesses from different mythologies considered triple goddesses. Janus's representations come not from multiple choices of a crossroads, but from duality. He is a divine Roman god of temporal beginnings and all thresholds that allow one to cross from one moment and place to another. Think of Janus as the yin and yang of the Roman mythological world. Obviously, the comparisons should not even be made, and the yin and yang are completely different and part of a separate belief system. But if you're a beginner, think of Janus as this one god holding 2 dual pieces of puzzles or concepts that usually go together. To quote Luke and Monica Roman from their Encyclopedia of Greek and Roman Mythology, in Latin, Janua is a door or entrance, and Janus is the term for a passageway or arc. It is easy to see where the name Janus comes from. Janus was not only the symbol of, but also the very embodiment of doors, gates, passageways, entrances, and all changes, especially changes that happen from one event or moment to another. This duality of Janus is present in grand moments that shape us and the world around us, such as life and death, beginnings and endings, entrances and exits. This is why doors and gates and all transitional items are such a crucial part of him and the honoring of his name. He even represents more abstract dual manifestations like youth and adulthood, the civilized and uncivilized world, and of course, war and peace. In ancient Rome, his temples could be found in all the major cities. Even in the capital, the entrance to his temple was so symbolic and such a powerful statement that at times of peace it would be closed, whereas wartime would see it open. It was considered a time of great change. Yeah, you can probably imagine how many politicians would have lied to the public or taken advantage of this symbolism just to sell a message or convince the public of peace when in reality there may have been wars in the background. Also known as the gatekeeper of the heavens, Janus's appearance is pretty unique amongst the Roman pantheon. He is probably one of the most recognizable gods in Greco-Roman mythology because of the 2 faces in his head facing opposing directions. What does this mean? These are his dualities come to life. Sometimes these heads can be identical as well as different, but they're always facing opposite directions. Sometimes the faces are clearer on what they mean. Janus's face can be an old man and a young man, and in this case he represents the past and the future, as well as youth and adulthood. He is always looking at the east and the west simultaneously, or the north and south at the same time. He is looking beyond what lies ahead, but also deep in melancholy at what has already passed. I'm not sure what the ear situation is with this deity though. He could have either a single ear on each end, 2 ears like us, but sometimes the representation shows faces being so far apart that there really isn't an explanation for the ears. I mention this because many artists and sculptors would often get around this dilemma by covering Janus in facial hair, thus eliminating the problematic ear situation they might have going on there. Two of Janus's most notable symbols are keys and coins. With so many attributes relating to time like past and future, youth and adulthood, one would think that maybe an hourglass could be a symbol of his, but in this case the hourglass is more reserved for gods who represent time as a whole concept, like Kronos, Father Time. However, it is curious that Janus has also been referred to as Father, with some accounts naming him Janus Pater, Father Janus. The key for Janus represents the opening of this new door, of this new gate, to open and allow change to come. In ancient Rome, the key was also a good luck charm in a way that represented good travels and good fortunes for those who venture on new enterprises or new adventures. The coins not only have the obvious two faces just like Janus, but also represent a dualistic choice. Think about flipping a coin to determine an action. In Roman mythology, Janus was the first of all mortal men and divine gods to ever mint coin, and we humans transitioned from more uncivilized world to the grand civilizations we have today, or at least that's the symbolism. Janus represents big transitional moments in the world, such as crossing between an old year to a new one. Again, it is Kronos who is usually represented as Father Time. However, it is January, the first month of the year, which is named after Janus. He is the first one we greet at coming into the new year. He should be honored and recognizing in transitional moments in life and time. A birthday, where one crosses from an older year to a new one. A marriage, moving to a new country, a new house, starting a new job, beginning a new enterprise. Even birth and death are considered transitional moments for the people around. Even more mundane or minute transitions represent Janus's presence for those who believed in him. A new year, as mentioned before, a new month, new week, even a new day. Another symbol or animal that is associated with Janus is the rooster. Any guesses why? Yeah, exactly. Roosters herald a new day into the world. All in all, Janus is not only one of Roman mythology's most recognizable deities, but he also kind of shows us how the ancient Romans saw these inevitable moments, saw how important ritual and preparation were for these transitional events that shape us in our lives. These were moments that all Romans were well aware of, and it's kind of seeped into our lives. Think of our modern culture and how those celebrations are so important for all of us. Our friend is getting married, let's say goodbye to this old time in our lives. Think about how marriage itself is a celebration, how death is seen a moment to pay their respects and understand that a new era has begun. It is even considered good luck to bring housewarming gift for a new home. Let's all remember to appreciate and understand that even the smallest of transitions deserve recognition, and for the Romans, and maybe for us, Janus is there overseeing this. Hey everyone, thank you for listening this far. I hope you enjoyed this content. Please let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Roman god Janus, or which Roman exclusive gods do you like, or do you prefer any of the Roman gods to the Greek ones? Please consider giving a like, subscribing to this channel, ringing that little notification bell icon, follow me on TikTok, Instagram. You can also support me on Patreon, though I am admittedly still trying to set up. These videos and even my blog are really about teaching or helping beginners with mythology, or just enthusiasts who want to refresh their memory or learn something new. I know I do not go super deep into what these gods really are all about. Trust me, there is like so much more to them. However, I do not want to overwhelm my readers or viewers. Thank you so much for listening.